Our chapel speaker this morning is Mr. James Maudlin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I came here last night to practice my speech by myself, and this morning it's a little different with people watching. I believe those who live in false realities, whether they are ashamed of their race, their gender, or appearance, will struggle to succeed. I understand many people are frightened to show themselves because they either get bashed or even killed. However, at least be proud of who you are. Be proud of who you are. I've yet found a reason why people can be so mean. Why are people so cruel to each other? So I try opening up by wearing shorts, to reveal my legs, to show my legs, to expose my legs, because I do not like hiding my identity. Many people stare at me when I walk, and I used to feel so uncomfortable. I felt like a circus freak. But I changed my ways, and I started walking by them, waving, hello. And that's all was needed. That's how we connected. They did not mean to hurt, but were simply curious. Sometimes people ask me how it happened, and I love it when children ask, why don't you have legs? Where are your feet? So I tell them, I was just born that way. It's how I am. It's how I am. Many people know Lady Gaga's hit song, Born This Way, and it's a message for people to be proud of their identity. It is in human nature to be curious. When I was young, I always asked my dad why. Why this? Why that? And sometimes it would frustrate him. But my point is, when children ask, why don't you have legs? I respond by asking them, well, why do you have legs? And it may be complicated for them to understand, but I want people to see the deeper meaning in my question. I want people to understand, despite my physical difference, I'm just like everyone else. I'm just like everyone else. A few years ago, a man walked up to a kid who thought he was just as normal as everyone else. The man told the kid, "You walk real good for a cripple." And I told him, "Thank you, wait, what'd you just call me?" So I understand he meant to be nice and complimented me, but I highly disregard the word cripple. A cripple is a person who is physically handicapped. It sounds offensive. It is offensive. And I am not a cripple. I am not a cripple. If I were crippled, I would not be standing here today. I would be sitting here in a wheelchair, speaking to you about life in the chair. Moreover, there are some people, such as Madame Delphos's father, who suffered polio, but managed to live life to the fullest. Jumping over many hurdles, her father prevailed and became a stronger person because of his challenges. He became a stronger person because he had polio. He managed to raise 6 children and set an example to the world that he could live life without limitations. There are many wheelchair athletes that have flown past me in triathlons. It's amazing what they can do. They pedal with their arms like this, up hills, and it's much harder than it looks. It's amazing what we can do. Calling one a cripple is hurtful, but handicap is also not part of my vocabulary. Definition of handicap is the inability to perform mentally or physically at the fullest potential. One who is mentally handicapped cannot learn as well as others. And one who is physically handicapped, like me to some people, cannot perform like normal people. I dislike this definition because it is misleading. One might call an amputee handicapped because they think amputees cannot perform like others or cannot perform at all. they cannot perform at all. Amputees are indeed challenged physically, but they are not incapable. They are not incapable. The word handicap does not fit well with me because I believe if you try, anyone is able to do anything. Everyone can go beyond his expectations and reach extraordinary goals. Living life as an amputee, I face many challenges, but I have learned to overcome them. I've dealt with physical challenges, but also mental conflicts as well. I listened to a voice that taunted, "You cannot do anything. You're different. You're weird, and you'll never be like others." The latter is true. I will never be like others. But I learned to rotate that negativity around. I said to myself, I am different. I am different. But I'll make it a personal goal to show people that I'm just as able as everyone else. Being different isn't bad. It's to be unique. And I'm challenged with simple tasks that most people do naturally. And I must learn to walk without feet. We all tread the same mountain, but hike different trails to reach the top. Challenge yourself to reach new heights, and it will spread. Those who observe your ability and leadership might take risks as well. You never know what you are capable of until you try. I'm not the only one who faces challenges. Many people suffer a disease called insecurity. For example, the athlete wants to make better grades, so people don't call him meathead. The student, hiding behind his book, who wants to be more social, so he can talk to other people. When we live in a world of stereotypes, we tend to get vicious. We tend to get mean to each other. For example, public school is a jungle full of wild animals that fight for themselves. It is a competition to the top of the food chain, and it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that some people do not get the bigger picture. They lack a sophistication to even notice the goodness in the world. Everyone is different, and perhaps those who put others down suffer. They suffer the same treatment that they prescribe. Perhaps their parents were raised to put their children down, or to hinder their potential to be great because of their own guilt. It is a cycle that will forever challenge the human race. But there are a select few that will prevail, who prevail. And those who learn to conquer the fear and acquire self-confidence will always succeed. They will always succeed. They may fail 1,000 times, but at least they tried. Trying is the first step to success and gaining confidence. Patience is the next step that many people do not comprehend. If you observe our modern culture, many people are in a rush. Fast food, fast cars, shortcuts. We live in a world where technology helps our lives go faster. You can post anything on Facebook or Twitter, and your friend across the ocean can almost see it instantly. It's amazing what we can do. But what's the rush? Why look ahead to the next step when you have not taken the first? Why try moving to your own demise when you have so much to live for? In ancient Eastern culture, many people lived in the moment, and each movement was an art. Character writing was illustrated gracefully and artistically. In yoga, the instructor always says to concentrate on the present. To concentrate on the present. Now, I understand patience is hard to grasp, but once you achieve it, you will live longer. You'll be less tense about the future if you concentrate on what you do now. My fourth form year, I ran on the cross-country team because I wanted to challenge myself. And I always came in last and felt pathetic because of my stupid slowness. Early this year, I face physical and emotional conflicts. This January, we all face individual and community conflicts. It is healthy to mourn. We must mourn. But after, we must rise again and do our best. In Mr. Fisher's Hero's Journey class, we studied the mourning traditions of warrior clans. They grieved for the dead, but after, they rose, grabbed their swords, and retaliated. Those who suffered, for whatever reason, must take a break. But they must rise again to live in the moment. I promised myself to quit complaining of my slowness. It was ridiculous. And I picked myself up. I said I would try running 5 more days. Just 5 more days. That was 3 years ago. Since then, I've done road races, 2 triathlons, and a half marathon. The secret to success was I freed my mind of competition. The only contest was with me, and only me. It is all about the individual, not competition. Having that mentality can actually hinder your performance because you know you will never be you will never be as good as the other person. Indeed, it pushes you to work harder. It pushes you to work harder. But if you do not know your limits, you can injure yourself and fall off the ladder. There will always be someone better than you, and always someone worse. It's life. You have to deal with it. So, have confidence, have patience, have drive, for it will guide you to high mountains. Once you reach your goals, you can look back and say, I ran the Ironman. I asked her out and she said yes. I made it into college. For years, I felt alienated from, quote, normal people, end quote. Born as a congenital bilateral amputee, I suffered a case called the insecurity syndrome. It was an empty void in my body that ate away at my conscience and my self-confidence. Listening to those who put me down, I actually made excuses believing I was handicapped. The negative concept poisoned my mind, and it took me years to overcome the challenge. Boarding at Salisbury was the greatest choice I've made yet. I may have been thrown into a world of hatred at public school, but I returned to a sophisticated environment with diverse people. I admit I complain about the food, the classes, the lack of females. Who doesn't? But in the long run, I know that I've developed into a stronger person. If I commuted to the local high school, I am not sure that I would be the person I am now. I would be still making excuses of my handicap. However, I've attended Salisbury since the 3rd form, and I proved to myself, I am not handicapped. I am not handicapped. I've not only discovered academic passions, but also athletic talents. Starting my 4th form year, I decided, since I love French so much, I wanted to challenge myself with another language, Mandarin. And it is a challenge. It is very challenging because it is a completely different culture and language. It's a beautiful language. Taking 6 classes took its toll. The lack of time. The increase of homework was the price. But I'm very happy for the experience. And all I needed was self-confidence. All I needed was self-confidence. Despite overcoming many challenges and evolving into a stronger person, I still suffer from emotional conflicts. I had a difficult fall this year, physically and emotionally, and I listened to the voice in my head, forming all the hatred that I've witnessed, that I've endured, into anger. Due to the insecurity of my appearance and my lack of self-confidence, I compiled every problem into a negative energy inside me. I wanted to stop and quit everything that I accomplished. Eventually, negativity imploded, and I nearly had to leave school. That was unacceptable to me, yet it felt unavoidable. Not until after Christmas did I overcome the great hurdle, and I must learn to live with myself. I still have negative thoughts, but I will always have an experience. Sometimes, the experience of facing challenges will strengthen the determination to succeed. The challenges and pain we bear will always be something to remember, and we can learn from it. So, next time someone tells you you are not good enough, tell them back, I feel sorry for you. Because you are the one who's handicapped. Your cruel intentions are harsh, but will damage you the most. You are the one who cannot perform. I will always push myself to succeed, and I'm so proud of it. Thank you.